Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Uh, Today I'm Ashish Mehra, Country Head Sales for Enterprise DB. Today in my talk, I'm going to talk about how we are powering Postgres and how we are working with our customers to innovate with Postgres. The world has changed. The world is changing. Our customers are asking us to change. The customers are asking us to transform, to modernize, to go digital. More and more of our customers are deciding how they want to interact with us. Gone are the days when we would tell our customers how to interact with us. Data of our customers, data of our partners, of our value chain is our biggest asset. How we use that asset, how we are going to use that asset to provide coverage to our customers is going to define who's going to lead in the digital age. Data is the new currency. Databases are your strategic assets. As we move on, most of the organizations have started going through the digital transformation. A lot of organizations are modernizing. And this modernization that we are seeing is happening with open source. Most of the modernization, most of the new stacks that are coming into play are happening with open source. One of the holy grails of the stack was the database, the core database. A lot of people went about changing the different pieces of the stack, but databases were never touched. That's changing. The databases are being re-architected, are being changed. One of the key components that we are seeing, the legacy databases are moving ahead. The legacy databases are being replaced. Legacy databases are making way for open source databases. And as one of the key elements of this change is Postgres. Postgres is at the front and center of this change. Postgres is part of the strategy for most organizations. It's the core databases for most organizations. We've reached a tipping point. We've reached a point where now organizations are spending more on open source subscription licenses than commercial licenses in the database space. That's a big, big thing. Some years back, that was not the case. Databases, again, as I mentioned, open source databases were on the sidelines. That's no longer the case. More and more organizations are putting open source databases at the front and center of where the actual application is. From banks, telecom, retail, you look at anywhere, that's happening. Who's driving this change? What's driving this change? Postgres. Postgres is at this point of time the number one database from an open source perspective. It's the fastest growing database platform. It's got the world's largest open source community, and it's the most loved database by developers. It's now becoming the standard for more and more organizations. More and more organizations are trying to build their applications around Postgres. Different variants of Postgres, but Postgres is at the heart of their strategy. As we move on, we are seeing a rush for organizations to move their current applications, their legacy applications, to the cloud with Postgres or on-prem. So depending upon what you want to do or where you want to do, Postgres helps you do that. But why is this happening? What's driving this change? One of the key elements is today, as I mentioned earlier, your customers define how they want to deal with you. Some time back or a couple of years back, if I wanted to, for an example, find out what my account balance is, I was forced to go to the branch and ask the teller out there to fill out my password. No longer. I can do it using the ATM, through the website, through one of the apps, the bank's app, or 1,000 other apps that allow me to do that. What that is doing is that putting pressure on the CIOs to have your infrastructure ready with this kind of setup. What that is putting pressure on your IT budgets which are already under a lot of pressure. The demand for data, the demand for doing so many things is increasing, but your IT budgets are not. Moving applications, moving your database towards Postgres frees up that database, frees up that budget. The amount spent on databases is the largest spend at this point of time in your IT budget. Think about it. So if you move applications towards Postgres, that's a big, big change for you. Again, but why Postgres? Why Postgres is at the center of this? Because Postgres lets you do what you want to do and where you want to do it. It's not forcing you to just look at only one specific set of applications. It's not forcing you to look at only specific set of deployments. It lets you define where you want to do it and when you want to do it. It's not locking you in. That's the game changer for Postgres. As organizations are building new application, modern application, the demands are different. The demands that we had in the earlier world are much different. There are higher security standards. You want your application to work everywhere. You want a much bigger community. You want more users and transactions. So these newer applications require newer databases. Modern applications require modern databases. Databases which work on all use cases. Databases which have a much larger talent pool. That's what Postgres gets you. That's what Postgres helps you do that. We are seeing more and more organizations move towards Postgres. But one question that most organizations have is, I understand the value of Postgres. I understand what Postgres can get to me. But how do I move from my current state to my future state? How do I make this change? These applications have been running for a legacy of years. They've been around for a very long time. Anybody who wants to make this change has a lot of questions. What applications do I choose? I've got lots of applications. Which are the applications do I give priority when I move them? Who's going to help me in this journey? Who's going to support me when I am in the new setup? What happens to my current people? Is the new setup going to be as resilient and as secure as my current setup? Very, very correct questions, very genuine questions to have. Some organizations go for one of the approaches, which is to hire some DBAs, hire an internal team to help them to do that. Good approach. Some work with an external party who can support them through the implementation. Again, good. But what happens when you're looking for open source experts when there is a bug in the product? Who's going to help you out there? On the other side, we've got our cloud providers who've got some version of Postgres. Good. But what happens if you move to them? What happens to your hybrid cloud strategy? What happens to your data if you want to pull it out? What happens when you want more access to a database? You want to define how you want to secure a database. For them, Postgres is not the only thing. It's part of their stack. You need a partner. You need a partner who understands Postgres. You need a partner who's going to help you through your transformational journey. A partner who knows how to treat data as a strategic asset. Somebody who can get you the more dollars saved for every money spent. And that's what we do at Enterprise TV. We help customers accelerate their strategy on Postgres using our different deployment options, the different database options, enterprise-grade tools, and we help you mitigate your risk. So depending upon what you're trying to do, we help you there. It will not be wrong to say that we are at the heartbeat of Postgres. In our lifetime, we worked with more than 5,000 organizations in the journey of Postgres. 28% of our customers are Fortune 500 customers. 40% of our customers are on the cloud right now. We've got 300 employees currently working on the technology side of Postgres. We are the experts of Postgres. The latest version of Postgres that came out had contribution of over 30% from Enterprise DB that was open sourced. People like Michael Stonebreaker, Bruce Momchin, Robert Haas, these are Enterprise DB employees that work towards making Postgres much more stronger. We believe in making the community strong. We've been associated with Postgres for the last 15 years. Depending upon what you want to do and how you're wanting to work on Postgres, we know how to help you out. You might be just starting with Postgres, expanding, or you already decided to make Postgres strategic. We've got the support and services to help you get there. We know what your priorities are. It could be migrating, it could be building new applications, or it could be moving to the cloud. We've got the services to help you get there. We are here for you. We've got a portfolio of products, different deployment options, again, different database options, enterprise-grade tools, and our expertise to help you in your journey towards Postgres. We are here for you. We've got a 24/7 support center in India. We support government in a lot of initiatives and a lot of government projects on Postgres. We are their default partner. So if there's anything that we can help you, it'll be nice to work with you. A small section of our customers, global customers that we work with. We've recently launched Big Animal, which is our fully managed database offering on AWS and Azure. This will be coming on GCP very soon. So if you're interested in knowing more about what we do around Postgres or Big Animal, feel free to talk to me or one of my colleagues at the booth outside. I'll be more than happy to take some questions now or later. Thank you very much.